The death dumps, otherwise known as chemical trails, are being dropped and sprayed throughout the United States, in England, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Europe, and I have personally seen them not only in the United States but in Mexico and Canada. Birds are dying around the world. Fish are dying by the hundreds of thousands around the world. This is genocide. This is poison. This is murder by the United Nations. This element within our society that's doing this must be stopped. I happen to know of 2 of the locations where the airplanes are that dump this crap on us. 4 of the planes are out of Air National Guard, Lincoln, Nebraska, and the other planes are out of Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I personally have observed the planes that were standing still in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, at the Air National Guard. They have no markings on them. They're huge, bomber-like airplanes with no markings. This is a crime. Crime against humanity, crime against America, crime against the citizens of this great country. They must be stopped.
I'm going to talk about something tonight that I've never talked about publicly before, and I'm going to talk about it right now. The technology that's coming is going to be broadcasting at 60 gigahertz. That is the absorption spectrum of oxygen molecules. There are instances where 60 gigahertz systems have been deployed in the United States, and it is a weaponized system. You don't mess with oxygen molecules. 30 days without food, you're going to be really skinny and probably dead. 3 days without water, you know what happens. A very short amount of time without air, and it's lights out meatball for all metabolic processes in a human body and all other life forms as we know them. What happens at the molecular level when you have oxygen molecules being hit with radio frequency?
Hey, buddy.
Are you coming home?
Yeah, soon.
They act for the good of the group as a whole. They may be the next stage in human evolution.
I promise you there's a difference between hearing someone talk to you and hearing Google Glass inside of your head. Freaks me out. It's like I'm hearing you inside my brain.
You know what, I'm okay. But how do you make them do that?
I use electromagnetic waves to stimulate their olfactory nerve center.
Using public transport, getting access to buildings and paying for coffee is now as simple as a touch of your hand. A microchip implanted beneath the skin gives people the same capabilities as dozens of cards and devices, and it's not as painful as you might think.
What was once confined to science fiction movies
It's maybe a little uncomfortable. Just implanted a radium diode. They have the access codes to your drop spot.
is now reality for a bunch of Sydney tech heads.
Can pay, open doors, and have my business card in there as well.
Remy Baker and Mitch Hunter from PhD Media are being microchipped to simplify their lives.
My work pass and potentially my Opal, which will allow me access to my office, to use the printer, to use the scanner.
We won't need any ID cards, we won't need any PIN codes, we won't need any sort of access codes.
Get a chip implanted in your hand and you could do this. A Wisconsin firm made history by embedding microchips in employees, bringing smartphone-like technology to the human body. The chips are not GPS trackers, but instead similar to payment chips used in smartphones.
Simply hold your iPhone near the reader with your finger on Touch ID. Your fingerprint confirms your identity.
Company officials said this would be a convenience for employees who wouldn't have to badge in or use a corporate login for their computer.